Hello students, myself is Dr. Vikas Kumar, an assistant professor in Guru Gobind Singh College. Today I would like to present glycolysis in the easiest way. So let's talk about glycolysis. Glycolysis is the metabolic process and it is almost an universal metabolic process which serves as a foundation for both aerobic and anaerobic cellular respiration. So whether it is a prokaryotic cells or eukaryotic cells, in both the kind of cells glycolysis happens. And you know that in animals and in humans, in our body, there are few cells which typically survives our glycolysis, and without oxidation of glucose even they cannot survive. The example of all these cells are, one is RBC and another is your neurons. So you can imagine that without glycolysis, how these cells are going to survive in our body. That's why glycolysis is a very typical and very important process for these kind of cells. In glycolysis, what happens? You know that the glucose is converted into pyruvic acid by oxidation. So you know that about the glucose. I am not going to discuss about detailed structure of glucose, but you must know about the biochemical formula of glucose and its structure in the form of pyranose ring, and the open structural formula as well as the cyclic structural formula you should be acquainted with before I start the glycolytic pathway. So what is the site of reaction for glycolysis? Glycolysis happens inside the cell cytoplasm simply, irrespective of any kind of cells. In all different kind of cells, glycolysis happens inside the cell cytoplasm. If we talk about the total steps involved in this metabolic process, there are 10 steps involved in the glycolytic pathway, right from the step number 1 to 10. These all steps happens because of some kind of specific enzymes involved in each steps. So let's talk about every respective step. I have named a step with respect to their particular enzyme involved in that particular reaction. So step 1 is hexokinase step, because the enzyme hexokinase requires in this particular step, where it helps the glucose molecule to convert into the glucose 6-phosphate. Here glucose is a substrate molecule, and it simply accepts the phosphate atom from the ATP molecule. Here ATP is a donor, and this enzyme hexokinase helps this ATP molecule to donate its one of the phosphate molecule atom to glucose molecule at its 6th carbon position and convert into the glucose 6-phosphate. As you see, magnesium ion has also an important role here as a cofactor to catalyze this particular reaction. Now if you talk about the second step of glycolysis, which is a kind of isomerization reaction, where glucose 6-phosphate converted into fructose 6-phosphate with the help of enzyme phosphoglucose isomerase. This typically isomerization reaction where only the functional group of glucose 6-phosphate, which is a aldehyde group, changes into the ketose group present in the fructose 6-phosphate. So nothing is happening except the change in their functional group, that means aldehyde to ketone. Now comes to the third step of glycolysis, which is done by phosphofructokinase, which is the crucial enzyme of glycolysis. It is a kind of a regulatory enzyme also that changes the fructose 6-phosphate to fructose 1,6-bisphosphate. This is the second step of glycolysis where the energy is required. Now in this reaction again ATP acts as a donor, which donates its one of the phosphate atom to fructose 6-phosphate, which is acting as a substrate molecule. It accepts the phosphate atom at the 1st carbon position because it is exposed and free, because it is present at the anomeric carbon atom, which is the second one. So here again phosphofructokinase utilizes magnesium ion as its cofactor and convert this particular substrate to the product. Now come to the step number 4, which happens because of an enzyme aldolase, which is a kind of a reversible enzyme. It is a wonderful enzyme because it works in both ways. It helps in the condensation of the substrate into the product, and also degrades its substrate into the product. So what it is doing here, it is degrading simply fructose 1,6 bisphosphate into its two equal halves into the dihydroxyacetone phosphate and glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. Both the molecules is having are having 3 carbon atoms, and the difference between these two molecules is just a functional group. DHAP is having ketone group, and glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate is having aldehyde group, and both of them are an example of triose sugar. So now come to the step number 5, which is the halfway of glycolysis, where these two molecules DHAP and GAP is interconverted to each other, where DHAP is converted to the glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. It's a simple isomerization reaction with the help of enzyme triose phosphate isomerase. Now onwards this step, every reaction will be having 2 molecules of the substrate and 2 molecules of the product. Now come to the step number 6. Glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate is oxidizes into its acidic counterparts, and in the first step in glycolysis, you see the production of acid is taking place here, and also and utilization of NAD, involvement of the NAD plus molecule. Here this reaction is an excellent example of oxidative reductive reaction, where the glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate is oxidizing into 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate, and NAD plus is reduced itself into the NADH molecule. Now wherever dehydrogenase enzyme you will come across, it will definitely do some kind of oxidation or dehydrogenation reaction here, and the most of the time dehydrogenases utilizes this NAD plus molecule as an oxidizing agent, and as a result NAD plus itself reduces into the NADH, which is a kind of electron acceptor. Now this is the only one step in glycolysis glycolytic pathway where NADH molecule is produced. Now come to the step number 7, where 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate, which is an acid, has 2 phosphate moiety, donates its one of the phosphate moiety to the ADP. You can simply say it helps into the phosphorylation of this ADP molecule and convert it into the 3-phosphoglycerate. This is an excellent example of substrate level phosphorylation, because here what is happening, substrate is involved into the phosphorylation of ADP molecule, and this kinase is typically just like another kinase, but here what it is doing, the transfer of phosphate molecule is happening from the substrate to the ADP. Earlier you have seen that the transfer of phosphate moiety was there from the ATP to the substrate, but it is happening just opposite, and it is helping extraction of phosphate moiety from substrate to the ADP phosphorylation. So that's why it is called as a substrate level phosphorylation. Now come to the step number 8. Here 3-phosphoglycerate is converted to the 2-phosphoglycerate. It is simply an isomerization reaction where the change in the position of phosphate atom present at the 3rd carbon position to the 2nd carbon position. This happens because of the typical behavior of this particular enzyme, phosphoglycerate mutase, because this enzyme helps to collect this phosphate molecule at once and donate the phosphate atom again to the 2nd carbon position. So this enzyme helps to collect this phosphate atom and donate the phosphate atom again from 3rd carbon position to the 2nd carbon position, and because of that 2-phosphoglycerate is formed. Now step number 9 is the enolase step, where this enzyme simply dehydrate this 2-phosphoglycerate molecule, and dehydration takes place between carbon number 2nd and 3rd, where because of that the rearrangement of the bonds takes place, and the introduction of double bond comes in carbon number 2, between carbon number 2 and 3, and because of that phosphoenol pyruvate is created. And phosphoenol pyruvate is a very important metabolite that participates into the other metabolic reactions also, that we will see later on, that how it participates into the gluconeogenesis pathway, and how it helps to form the other metabolites in other biochemical reactions. So step number 10, which is the last step of glycolysis, where The pyruvate kinase is an enzyme that facilitates this reaction where the phosphoenol pyruvate converted into the pyruvate. This is again an example of substrate level phosphorylation, where substrate is donating its phosphate moiety to the ADP, and ADP phosphorylation takes place and production of pyruvate molecule takes place. So this is finally a 2 molecular pyruvate is created and 2 molecule of ATP is created again. So comes to the energetics. You have seen that in step number 1 and 3 2 ATP molecule was utilized, and in step number 7 and 10 4 ATP molecule was produced. So ultimately how many molecules is the net is as a net gain that we will see is a 2 ATP molecules. So in the glycolysis ultimately 2 ATP molecules gained, and that was all about the energetics of glycolysis. In next video we'll talk about the regulation of glycolysis. Thanks.